Israel-Iran war news. Jordan stops armaments conspiracy in Iran-Israel shadow war. Two Jordanian sources said Jordan intercepted an Iranian-led conspiracy to sneak weapons into the U.S. allied kingdom to help monarchy opponents damage. Two Jordanian sources said Jordan intercepted an Iranian-led conspiracy to sneak weapons into the U.S. allied kingdom to help monarchy opponents damage. The sources told Reuters that Iranian-backed militants in Syria delivered weaponry to a Jordanian Muslim Brotherhood cell with ties to Hamas military wing. They alleged late March arrests of Palestinian Jordanian cell members seized the stockpile. The first word of the conspiracy and arrests comes at a time of high Middle East tensions, with an American-backed Israel at war in Gaza with Hamas, part of Iran's axis of resistance network of proxy groups built up over decades to oppose Israel. Given current investigations and covert actions, the two Jordanian sources declined to address alleged sabotage. They claim the scheme sought to destabilize Jordan, which has a U.S. military presence and borders Israel, Syria, and Iraq, both of which have Iranian-backed militias, and might become a Gaza flashpoint. The March raid didn't list the items confiscated, but sources said security agencies have stopped Iran and its allies from smuggling Claymore mines, C4 and Semtex explosives, Kalashnikov rifles, and 107mm Katyusha rockets in recent months. Jordanian sources said most of the covert guns entering the nation go to the Israeli-occupied West Bank. They said some of the weapons, including those confiscated in March, were intended for the Brotherhood cell connected to Hamas fighters in Jordan. They hide these weapons in holes called dead spots, take their GPS location and picture it, and then tell men to recover them. A security official described the smugglers' method. Muslim Brotherhood, a multinational Islamist movement, formed Hamas in the 1980s. Jordan's Brotherhood has functioned legally in the kingdom for decades and denies violence. According to two sources, Jordanian authorities believe Iran and its allies like Hamas and Hezbollah are recruiting young, radical Brotherhood members to their anti-Israel, anti-US cause to extend Tehran's regional network. A top Muslim Brotherhood official said several of its members were caught in March with firearms, but he assumed they were smuggling arms to the West Bank rather than preparing attacks in Jordan. The Brotherhood and authorities talk. Due to the sensitivity of the situation, the representative requested anonymity. Another senior Brotherhood figure, who sought anonymity, told Reuters that Hamas chief Saleh al-Arawi, who oversaw West Bank operations from exile in Lebanon, recruited the jailed cell members. Israel-linked drone strikes in Beirut murdered Arawi in January. Jordanian and U.S. Department of Defense spokespeople declined to comment, while the Iranian Foreign Ministry didn't respond. Israeli Prime Ministerial and Foreign Ministry officials didn't reply to calls for comment. Jordan has said it has blocked many efforts by pro-Iranian militants in Syria to infiltrate its borders with rocket launchers and explosives over the past year, although some weapons got through undetected. Iran denies such attempts. Jordan's King Abdullah balances dangerously. The turbulent years after Israel's formation brought millions of Palestinian refugees to Jordan, making up most of his 11 million inhabitants. The Gaza conflict has forced him to balance Palestinian support with a long-standing U.S. partnership and decades-old acceptance of Israel. Protesters have called for severing ties with Israel and held street rallies this week against the war. After Jordan joined a U.S.-led campaign to down Iranian drones and missiles last month, detractors circulated photographs of the monarch draped in an Israeli flag on social media with captions like "traitor" and "Western puppet." Following the drone shoot-down, Jordanian journalist Bassam Badari says the government's position and public reaction have never been more divergent. Read more about the Islamic resistance of Iraq, which killed 3 U.S. soldiers in Jordan. "Some unhappiness," he remarked. Jordan used to skillfully stand at an equal distance from all the countries in the area, but with its intervention Jordan placed itself with the American axis. According to two Jordanian MPs who requested anonymity owing to the sensitive nature of the issue, conflict with the Brotherhood might also pose difficulties for Abdullah. The group is popular nationwide. Jordanian authorities have not commented on the weapons plot or arrests. One of the two Jordanian people with knowledge of the plot said intelligence officers called 10 top Brotherhood figures to alert them they apprehended a cell that connected them to Hamas. No Jordan option. According to Saad al-Sharafat, a former brigadier general in the Jordanian General Intelligence Directorate, officials feared losing the kingdom to Iran's strategic struggle against Israel, so they joined Western powers in downing Iranian drones bound for Israel. He continued, the Iranians have orders to recruit Jordanians and infiltrate Jordan through agents. They recruit from all walks of life. Many officials and diplomats in the area say the January attack on a U.S. military post in Jordan by Iran-aligned forces in Iraq, which killed 3 U.S. soldiers and injured 40, motivated Jordan. The attack apparently supported Hamas in its conflict with Israel. More conflict and famine, UNRWA, EU, France, Jordan replied to Israel's Rafah evacuation demand. A diplomat close to Tehran said Iran's desire to develop a proxy footing in Jordan dates back to 2020's U.S. assassinated Revolutionary Guards leader Qasem Soleimani. The diplomat told Reuters that Soleimani believed that Jordan's strong links to the U.S. and West necessitated forming an allied force that could combat Israel to advance Tehran's regional strategy. King Abdullah accused Iran of aiming to build a Shiite crescent to increase its regional authority after the 2004 U.S.-led invasion of Iraq, sparking tensions between Iran and Jordan. King Abdullah claimed he shot down the drones in self-defense, not to benefit Israel. He stressed that Jordan will not be a battlefield for any party. The 2 Jordanian lawmakers said the military operation showed Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu that Jordan was a vital regional security buffer. The Jordanian monarchy backs a Palestinian state. Some Israeli right-wing politicians have proposed Jordan as a Palestinian state, although King Abdullah has repeatedly denied there is a Jordan option. The official attitude is that a 2-state solution is not just in Palestinians' interest, said former Jordanian Foreign Minister and Carnegie Endowment for International Peace Vice President for Studies Marwan Washer. It will construct a Palestinian state on Palestinian soil rather than Jordan soil, which is in Jordan's interests.